I'm just gonna be filming this again, just real quick. Sorry that it just seems, you know, out of pocket. We're still gonna smoke. Let's get this, everyone. Cheers. Hope you all are having a great day. Like I said, I was filming this video and then for whatever reason it stopped. So I'm just gonna go back into this. It's a Kashtira pure deck profile. No runic, no adventure, no extenders or anything like that, just pure Kashtira. And what I've found with this deck is that you're gonna not really draw a lot of hand traps. You're actually gonna draw your main pieces that you need and a lot of your draw power. So without further ado, let's take our first hits for the day. Everyone, cheers at home. Let's get this. And over here, I'm gonna have optional cards. All right, so you're gonna be running 3 Fenrir. It's pretty self-explanatory. Fenrir is probably the best card in the deck and it can facilitate you all the plays. The card reads, once he's summoned during the main phase, you can activate his effect and add any Kashtira monster. And then once he declares an attack or your opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish 1 card on the field face down. Or I believe it's 1 monster field. It's any card face up. So you got any card face up on the field. You got 3 unicorn. Unicorn's probably the best card that is yet to, you know, show its power, but it's so powerful right now. You got 3 unicorn to add your spells and does the same thing on attack or, you know, activation of effect from your opponent. He, instead of on the field, he banishes your opponent's extra deck. And then for your other Kashtira main body for right now, you have Ogre. Ogre is pretty great. His effect, same thing, except for he searches a trap. Instead of a spell or a monster, he searches a trap. And then on attack or effect, he banishes from the deck instead of the extra deck or the field. So great card in overall. You have 2 Chaos Hunter, 1 Pankratops. Chaos Hunter is a great card, especially against Flu or any other deck. It's just a great card. And same with Pankratops. You have your hand traps. You have 3 Ash, great against Rogue or even Tier Elements. And then 3 of the Killer. You have 3-dimensional shifter. Card should be banned, but obviously it isn't. So abuse it or use it. You know what I'm saying? So we're abusing it, and you run it at 3. Card's great. And even if you draw more than 1, or even if you draw it a second time, there's ways to just get it out of hand. So that's gonna do it for the monsters. Simple and sweet. Nothing else that I need to just say about it. 3 Birth, self-explanatory. Main normal summon, level 7, and then you get a special summon. I believe that is banished or in your graveyard, so great card. 2 Desires, draw power. I love it over Pot of Prosperity. In my last video that I recorded, but it didn't, you know, go through. I was explaining a whole in-depth reason why I love Desires, but I'll just keep it short and simple. I just don't like banishing my extra deck, whether, you know, the cards are useful or not. I feel like this card should be at 3, but even if it's at 2, it's still a great card. I just love Desires way more than Prosperity. Even though I've ran Prosperity before, I just love Desires just a little bit more. You got 3 Sacred Swords, 7 stars. Card's great. Somebody negated my Unicorn. The dude that I was testing against last night in person, he negated my Unicorn, and I was able to just draw 2. So it's a great card. 3 Triple Tactics Talents. Card's busted. It's probably the best card in this deck. There's no other reasons to talk about it. 2 Instant Contact, card's busted. People don't even know what it does, but it just reads you special summon out, you know, one of your elemental heroes from your extra deck, ignoring the conditions. 1 Harpy Feather Duster, card's busted, gets rid of your opponent's stuff. Ghost Art, and then 3 of the most broken card in the game, Dimensional Fissure. Konami bringing this shit back to 3, which should have been illegal, but hey, they did what they did. You have 2 Macrocosmo. Again, cards busted. I think that's going to be the ratio, like I was explaining in my the video that didn't record. Macrocosmo at 2 and Dimensional Fisher at 3, I think is going to be the standard ratio, or maybe 2 and 2. If not, maybe in the side decks. But I think if you're going to be running Kashtira without these cards, you're pretty much losing, no matter what. So take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. It's all up to you. 3 Imperm and 1 Prep. Cards broken. All these cards are broken. No other need to say what I need to say. You usually use Imperm to get rid of, if your opponent's playing tier elements, you're going to get on their Kalos. Or if they're playing Sprite, you're going to go after their Elf or Gigantic, one or the other. Yeah. So that's going to do it for the main. It's pure 40 cards. Like I said, just pure Kashtira. Simple, straight. For the extra deck, you have 1 Dark Neos, self-explanatory for instant contact. People run 2, and that's why they run Prosperity, but I'm only running 1. 1 Chaining, 1 Baron, 1 Access Code, 1 BLS, 1 IP for the BLS, and then the Access Code is to go in from the BLS. 2 Shingira for the XYZs. 2 number 89. The reason I'm running 2 of these is just because I don't have Dark Flare Red Eyes in the extra deck, just because I feel like it's a burn effect, and it is probably pretty good, but I just like these cards way more. Mecha Phantom Beast, Dracossack, 1 number 74, 1 number 11, 1 number 76, and 1 Zeus, like these people and I were talking about in the Kashtira forum. Everything in the extra deck is at this point just optional, and it's always going to really be optional. Maybe this stuff is going to leave, you know, but as far as like these, that, and maybe those, these are all going to be staples. Those meh. And then you have the 2 other Kashtira monster that's coming in. Yeah. So like I said, that's going to be it for the extra deck. Deck's just so good. Last night in testing against this person, I went 4-1. 3 matches I played his Dragunity deck, beat him. 1 I played against his Witchcrafters, beat him, and then he only beat me first ever game of the night. And then I just went on a tear with 4 games. Would I change anything with this deck? Probably not. I really wouldn't change anything, just because like I said, I just was able to go all 4, and the hands that I was drawing was literally like no bricks. Even the first game that I lost, I just say that I lost because it was, you know, having to learn the plays and knowing what they're really doing and all that kind of stuff. 3 Lava Golem, 2 Cyclone, self-explanatory. Lava Golems to get rid of tier or anything else. Cyclone, 2 Raigeki, 1 Zombie World, 1 Terraforming. I hate playing against Zoo or anything that's like, you gotta have this monster. 3 Book of Eclipse against Flu or Kashtira. When I was reading the effect, I was like, sheesh, this card's good against Fluandereeze. So it's pretty good. And then you have 3 Lightning Storm. Like Zachary Butler says on, you know, the TCG player posts and shit, keep it simple and sweet. For this part, I'm just keeping it simple. So yeah, I wouldn't really change anything going into any tournament. Maybe I want to have some more testing to see what the hands are like and all that kind of stuff. But I just feel like for what Astro Karibo and all those other cards can do, and if you don't have the money to, you know, afford these other cards like Ash or, you know, maybe Dimensional Shifter or whatever, Veiler's for imperms and freaking these for whatever else that's a hand trap in your deck. Just, you know, you can run all these other optional cards. I was, and thankfully for testing, you know, you just got to be able to acquire these cards at some point. You don't got to get the most expensive rarity. Just make sure it's near mint. And yeah, like I said, like I've always told you all, just go out and conquer the meta, whether it's on Dueling Book, at home, with theorizing stuff, watching duels, all that kind of stuff. Just go out there and conquer the meta before tournaments. Ask some people, hey, can we get some testing in? All that kind of stuff. And if you guys want to see some test hands, all that kind of stuff, leave a like and comment on the video, so that way it lets me know. And let me know if you guys want to see some test hands, because this deck, like I said, is all gas. Even with the extenders, I see why people run the extenders. I'm just like, when I build these decks from, you know, and I see other people building them, I'm just like, okay, what can I do to make that better and more competitive, and what everyone's running and all that stuff. And I know it's probably the same with all you at home, but Hoban says to just, you know, follow other people's deck lists and all that kind of stuff. And that's true. You know, I do like to copy other people and follow what they're doing, but to be honest, like, it's just so fun. Like, you have all these cards and you can actually sit down and look at everything, and you know, you'll have to go to the other opponent's deck and be like, okay, what the fuck do they do, you know, like, and all that shit. So I guess in a sense, it just puts you at more knowledge of the game. And yeah, just crazy that, you know, this is really what the game's become and what it's going to look like and all that stuff. I can't wait for Photon Hypernova. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, hope you all are having a great day, and go conquer the meta. Go get that shit. Go to a tournament and go 5-0 and, you know, beat the best player in the room, best player in the state. And just by sitting and taking your time and understanding that the game state is for both the players. So if he's going slow, you go slow and you take your time to read the cards, because, you know, even if the player is going off time, you know, at least you're reading everything and all that kind of stuff. And if you're playing a deck like Magical Musketeers, and I haven't played that deck yet, then, you know, just go based off of feeling. Okay, what are you doing? You're adding a card to hand? Okay, let me ash that. You know, is it once per turn? Does it say once per turn? Or is it, you know, I can, okay, you know, maybe I shouldn't ash that. You know what I'm saying? Like, ask those questions, read the cards, take the card from them, and read them and all that kind of stuff. And I guarantee you, you're going to see more results rather than losses. And I'd rather you all see results. So, like I said, go conquer the meta. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have all a great day. Bye-bye.